Hola! So we today are going to be looking at some of our Spanish vocabulary. So Spanish has fallen a little bit off of the menu whilst we've been on lockdown, and I really want to help you to try and pick up from where you left off. You didn't have a lot of the Spanish curriculum left from year 5. You had covered quite a lot during your PPA sessions when I'm not there and Miss Davis not there. So today we're going to be learning your final topic, and that is places around the town. Now, I'm going to put 2 videos in one. So this is going to be this week's and next week's. So when I ask you to stop the video for week 1, you're going to need to stop the video and make sure you don't carry on, because it'll be really confusing. So you are going to also need to have open the vocabulary which is attached to today's Google Classroom. I'm going to be reading through those, and as I read through them after each one, I really recommend that you pause the video and have a go at repeating that word and trying to learn them. It is really important. I grew up thinking that learning another language was boring. And then I went to secondary school and I absolutely fell in love with Spanish and took it right up to A-level and even did part of my degree in it at university. So I really want you to work hard on this, and I'll be so impressed if in September or maybe before, when I see you at school, if you can remember some of these words. That'll be really great. Okay, so here goes. So here are your words that you're going to be learning today. They're all places around the town. So you've got the supermarket, the church, the bank, the cinema, the restaurant, the park, the hospital, the stadium, the museum and the theatre. And the reason I put that in front of all of them is because when we go on to our next part, it's going to be really easy for you to change the tense and change what you need to, the tense. You just need to know that. And you can always remove it if you wanted to. But in Spanish, they tend to say the supermarket, the church, the bank. So the first one is el supermercado. El supermercado. And that is the supermarket. And you'll notice that in the supermarket is a D. And that is quite a soft D. It's not el supermercado. It's el supermercado. It's very do. So practice saying that now. The next one is la iglesia. La iglesia. And again, the S is not S, it's more like the TH sound that we make in thing, for example. So la iglesia. Pause it and have a go at practicing it. The next one is el banco. And as a child, I always remember learning this and thinking, oh, I can imagine a really rich banker saying el banco. It's quite a firm word, so el banco. Pause it and have a go. The next one is el cine. El cine. And that's a cinema. Pause it and have a go. The next one is la restaurante. And that's the restaurant. La restaurante. Restaurante. The next one is el parque. El parque. And that's the park. Pause it and have a go. El parque. Number 7 is el hospital. El hospital. Now when you say hospital in English, you say hospital. Hospital. We don't say that in Spanish. You say el hospital. You miss out the H. It's very soft. El hospital. Next one is the stadium, like a football stadium. I mean, not every town has one of these, but it's just for example for you to learn it. El estadio. El estadio. Number 9 is el museo. So museum, you say museum, not mu, which is like the Spanish. El museo. And finally, number 10 is el teatro. El teatro. And that's the theatre. So you are going to need to pause the video now and get on with today's task. Next week, we're going to be carrying on, and it's going to be the same video, so I'm now going to continue talking, but obviously that's not for this week's lesson, so don't confuse yourself. Complete today's task. Hopefully those pronunciations are okay for you to understand. Try your best. We're really looking forward to hearing you say some of these words, so we'd really please if you can make a good effort with this. So now I am carrying on with next week's lesson. So you can stop the video and get on with today's lesson. Good luck. Okay, so welcome back Year 5. I know some of you may be a bit confused because you watched last week's lesson again. So you are watching the second part, which is learning how to say I go in Spanish. Now, it's really simple and really easy. And the reason I've put it in the same video is that you can watch the rest of them. You're going to need those words from last week to help you to remember, to help you to say the sentences we're learning how to say today. So, part of today's learning is learning how to say I go. And to say I go in Spanish, you literally just say boy. So, it's like girl or boy. It's spelled V-O-Y, but you pronounce it boy because in Spanish they pronounce their V's as B's. So, for example, if I was going to say I go to the supermarket, I would say voy al supermercado. Now, you might notice that I didn't say voy el supermercado. I made it quite different. The bit in the middle was not el. If the word is masculine, so it starts with L, then you have to change it to al. So it's voy al supermercado. If the word is feminine, so it starts with la, for example, la iglesia, you would say voy a la iglesia. So el is voy al supermercado, for example, and feminine is voy a la iglesia. Now, when you're doing today's activity, you're going to need to remember that rule. It's quite an important rule, and it is written on today's Google Classroom. So pay really close attention to that and maybe practice saying a few of them first. Once you've learnt that, and you can say I go to supermarket, for example, you're going to need to complete today's sheet, which is translating. Some of them are written in Spanish, and you need to write the English. Some are written in English, and you need to write the Spanish. Good luck. And I really hope that helped. If there are any Spanish families out there that I have offended, I'm very sorry, but I'm trying my best. Good luck. See you later. Miss you all lots.